Hey guys, what is going on? So I've been caring for Java Fern for a while and Java Moss for a while as well. Um, and the good thing is I've had luck with Java Fern. The bad thing is I've had issues with Java Moss holding and or growing insane in my aquarium. So realistically, you don't want too much Java Fern because it's gonna explode in your aquarium, but you don't want too little because it's gonna die off. What I mean is, like, you don't want a tiny, tiny piece of Java Fern, or you don't want another aquarium that has raised Java Fern because Java Fern is okayish, but it can die off quickly, especially if it's not on the right surface. So if it's on gravel or if it's on wooded areas like not bamboo, well, bamboo too, yeah, but more like uh, driftwood, essentially. Anything like that would make it a little better for the Java Fern to hang on to. Java Fern does have a tiny, tiny root base, I think, on the bottom of it that it attaches to the gravel, rocks, etc. Um, and as you can see, if you leave Java Fern for a long time, it will hold on to gravel, essentially anything floating, and have plants stuck in it. So, I just wanted to give you my advice on some things you could essentially do and my experiences with some Pico items that I've noticed can run into issues and some other ones as well. I will type in on the website as well and show you guys. So this video is going to be like a review kind of some plants. And the interesting part with plants is, even with Java Fern, like, and Java Moss, we see these people with huge Java Moss mats, whatever. I'm not, it's not Petco per se that's causing any issues with any other products. I'm not um, essentially making a review on Petco as much as a review of the actual item. Petco does not own these items as well. They're from a supplier that works with Petco to get you the items. So like a Java Moss Ball, anything on the website. So like anything on the here I'll show you. So basically anything on the Petco website, like this, you'll see flowing Java Moss Ball with plant. This is not from Petco. This is a site called Imagitarium. So, Imagitarium, I think it's called. And they literally say your live rock, plant, coral, or invertebrate may not match the image shown due to natural variations. Each one is unique in shape and color. So, which is pretty cool. I mean, they add that in just so it's not going to be like this exact plant, which is obviously good to know. But if anybody is buying this, that's new to fish keeping, they probably wouldn't know that, or owning a fish tank for the first time. There's no way they would know that. And I'm getting tired, so I may yawn throughout the video. Sorry about that. And just wanted to update this now while I still have the aquarium behind me. And it's fresh. So, I get this plant, right? And, yeah, it looks pretty healthy, right? So I go to Petco, I'm like, Oh, that's a cool plant. So I believe I didn't get this from. Well, I think I did. I think I didn't have the shit to me. I think I got it from Petco. So I go into Petco. The plant looks fine, right? It looks like this. A little off, so I'm like, you can have that one instead of this one, right? So plant grows fine. Bring it home. Plant's still fine. Attached to the wire here, right? Now this is wrapped around, and if I can show you where this is wrapped in fishing line. So the fishing line is wrapped around the rock, and I'm like, okay, can I have this one? This one looks good. Now you don't want, like, this is all new growth. You can see the new growth on the top of the plant here and here. This is all older growth, except the newer growth coming out here. That's new growth, that's new growth, that's new growth. This is all older growth. It turns more green, I believe, with the more light you give it. Other than new growth, when Java fern is really young, and when any plant is really young, it turns out brighter than it really is until it gets light. Obviously, that's different for every plant, but with Java fern, the younger the plant, the lighter it's going to be. So, especially with Java moss, it's from the same, essentially, kind of Java plant, aquatic plant. So you essentially are dealing with that, the lighter growth when younger, and as it gets older, it turns like a green like that. So I go to Petco, right? And I get this plant, and you know, one looks good, the other one looks better. So I'm like, I don't know what the heck I'm looking at here. This looks half dead, right? So I'm like, you know, can I have this one that looks better? So I get that one, right? And the plant does okay. I mean, it's not like it's not bad, but it doesn't have really good growth on it, right? So this plant grows in. So what happens is, waiting, you know, a couple weeks, plant grows fine. It's growing babies off the edge like it's supposed to, you know, whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. Java moss grows out, you know, and I get a Siamese algae eater, and my Siamese algae eater decides to eat all the dead, you know, Java moss, especially, you know, all the new Java moss. I ain't know this thing eats Java moss. Clears off the rock, right? Great, okay. And I'm like, okay, great. You know, I don't mind. You know, as if it's dead, it's dead. If it's alive, you know, let it just eat. You know, right? So this thing eats the whole rock. So the only thing I had now is this plant, right? Okay, great stuff, right? I ran into so many issues with the fishing line in my aquarium. And it's just honestly because of the way Imagitarium, as a company, grows Java fern. So when you type in, let's see, Java fern, right? You see all these different types of Java fern, right? Java fern, right? As it types in. It should load, right? No? Really? Oh, there we go. Sorry. So you type in Java fern. Cool looking, right? Cool, this cool, you know, snail free, whatever, right? So, no hate on Petco, but most or all of the Java fern plants that are this, I actually got a cool story about that too. So more like This, uh, this, nah, is that Java? No, it's Nubius, sorry. This, not so much this actually, but, I'm trying to find it. Hang on, guys. Java fern, Java fern in stock. Here. Peacock fern. So this, most likely, any Java fern that's actually a Java fern that's in a, I probably complained a lot, but oh no, El Nino fern, Obias El Nino fern. So this sucks too, because what happens is you get these, but you're like, okay, it's cool, whatever, you know, but they hide rope, black rope, in the plant. So they're in the root base here. There is black rope. And it's okay, but then it's not okay because like the plant can't grow out. When you're thinking of all this together in one thing, there's no way the plant's gonna grow new growth. So this here is all immersed growth. It's not gonna, so essentially this is all immersed growth. It's grown above water, so all this is gonna die. Regardless of what you have, all Java fern is going to die. Now, I haven't had problems with the, I shouldn't say that because I haven't had problems with the Java fern. Where is it? The Java fern. I'm trying to look for the fern. The microstorm windog. Besides this, I have only had problems with the plants, the bulbitis plants. So anything like this right here, anything like that, this, no, that's not, I don't think that's grown above, but I could be wrong. This, anything that's flat leaf like that is most likely grown above water. So let's see, you're paying for, like, how can I explain this in the best way possible? So you're paying for this, right? Most of, as far as I know, the only one that I like so far is the rock and the plant on the rock, and I'll explain why I think this video. But so you get this, and then you get growth on the plant. So what essentially happens is this will create new leaves. So these leaves will create new leaves underwater. Now, this is all immersed growth. So this is all going to die. But in the process of dying, this plant creates new growth. Let me get a large one. There we go. So this plant creates new growth. If I could find the growth. Let's see. Other roots. Anyone of growth? No. Okay, no. So, you know. Oh, this is the root base. So that's tiny root base. Okay. So this is not. Oh no. Wait. There's the. I don't know if you can see right there, but that's a rope. That is not the root base. That's a rope that connects all of these single stem, and all these are single stems. So this is a single stem. This is a single stem. This is a single stem. So when you take the rope off, they're all roped together. So it looks like a giant thing, right? Well, it's not. So all these are roped together, but they're single rope. I mean, they're single root. So I've had them with one single root. I've had them with a couple single roots, which is good. So generally with these, you want it to be a couple roots, but I literally like there's no info here that tells you that there's a rope right here and you're paying $8 for a stem with 2 leaves on it. And I'm like, okay, it's not doing well. Let me figure out why. So, I found a rope, cut it off, did much better. So what you want to do essentially, if you really like these plants, order one. You have to contact customer service. So here's what I did. FYI, just because, you guys will benefit from this. So you're going to cut the rope off. You're going to leave the plant in your aquarium. Let it grow roots. Now, if there's one root, it's up to you. I per se love to see the best chances as possible. So, and that means a couple roots. So I like to have a couple roots in my aquatic plants, especially if they're immersed, because I know they're gonna die anyway. So like the leaves will die, obviously. So I just like to have a couple roots rather than one root, which does happen unfortunately in one tiny root. But what will happen is like I would call Petco. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but I would call Petco customer service and be like, hey, I ordered a plant. It only has one root on it. They're going to ask probably for photos. You're going to email the photos to them. Then they'll send a new plant. And do this as much as you can. And say you want a new plant. So you want a relatively new plant. Because what happens is with Java fern, so how do I explain this? You can get roots. So basically, if you want snail free plants in the tubes, like if you want a plant in a tube like this, you're sacrificing root base over leaf base. So if you want something that looks good, it will last. I'm not saying every plant like this is like this. All I'm saying is that it's going to turn to shit basically before or crap, I should say, basically before it gets better. So the plant, okay, so if you just put this in the ground like this, it's most likely gonna die and not do well because it doesn't have anywhere to grow new plants, or it's gonna want to grow a bunch of babies on the leaves, but you don't want that. You want it to grow more roots more than grow babies up here. So what I would recommend doing is what I did, definitely, is don't do this, because this is not going to grow because the ribosome is below the gravel, as you can see. So this will all die off anyways, and it's going to kill the plant. So do not do this. What you're going to do is cut the rope here. Take these plants out gently, and play each one. And it's gonna be annoying, but it's benefit because you're not having snails or Malaysian trumpet snails or any pest snails on these plants. So you're going to get a bright light, not like medium bright light. You're going to cut the rope with a sharp scissor. I use aquarium scissors. If you would like to know what that is, please type in the comments and I'll put them. I'm actually going to put the link in my comment section, or my description of what scissors I use for these. So you're gonna cut it, and then you're gonna separate gently what is root base and what is not. So you're going to separate gently and separate all the plants, make sure nothing's knotted together by root. Separate all the root base so each plant has its own root base. Then you're going to float it. Okay? Float it for, I don't know, a couple weeks, maybe like a month or so. The plant, if it's healthy enough, it's either going to die off, which some of them do, because they're, weak, whatever, or it's going to create aquatic plants, aquatic versions of itself. So it's going to create new aquatic growth down here, and that aquatic growth is going to grow up from here, and the immersed leaves, which are probably all these honestly, are going to slowly die off, and then the aquatic growth will grow on. I'm still growing aquatic leaves 5 months later because I didn't realize for the past 3 months that this plant was slowly dying and wasn't growing any root base. So I had a refund for it. I had a refund sent. The root base was terrible. I had another one sent. The root base was good. So what I would do with that is check your root base. If the root base is crap, then call Petco. They'll send you a refund. Hopefully, if everything's good, they'll probably ask for pictures. But most of the time they do send refunds, which is good. Not saying they would send a refund every time if the plant doesn't do well or if the root base isn't big, but ask them for a refund. Ask them for a new plant that was made like this, so you have a bigger root base if you want a bigger root base. So they send you a newer one that they just made, and then separate it, put in your aquarium, let it grow. I mean, this is probably 2 months later, and there's more plants even growing out of the original plant, and I've been slowly cutting the immersed growth off because it's slowly dying off. Now obviously the snails are eating it, but you don't want too much bacteria growing in there as well, or too much stuff dying off in your aquarium because it's going to raise the pH and stuff like that. So when you're buying stuff from Petco in terms of this plant here, or where is it? The I'll go back more. Or this, so back to this. So that's what happened with the jog fern. What happens with these, and I honestly think you guys should know that. So with the other Java fern, you want to just cut the rope around the roots. It should be easy to find. It's just black. It's a little different, so if you can easily tell if you really pay attention. And I showed you earlier in the video where it was. But with the job with this specifically, you want to let this grow out a little bit to where it has a bigger root base. So you want to let that grow out. And what's going to happen is if you have a Siamese alligator, this won't all die off. This is all probably dead root base. I mean roots. Java moss by the time you get it. Most likely. Sorry. Most likely it's going to be dead. So you want to, or most of the time, I think honestly I just bought one, so I can't guarantee that. But alligators, as far as I know, I don't know if they eat Java moss, but it looked dead and it was dying anyways. So my Siamese alligator just ate it. It could eat new growth as well, new Java moss growth. If it does eat Java moss, obviously I didn't research it. That's why I'm saying if it does. And if it does do that, if you have a thing and this all dies off, you want to make sure this is big enough. Then you want to, because what's going to happen is the rope is going to get caught on all your Java fern, which I have in my tank. It's going to get caught on all the Java fern stems and break them, unfortunately. So that's what happened to me, because I ended up getting caught on everything when I was trying to adjust something. If the plant moves by it, and it gets caught on it, and then it gets tangled, and then another plant gets tangled on it, and then another plant gets tangled, and then eventually you're trying to untangle everything, and the stem of that plant that's immersed growth is getting weaker, so that eventually bends off and breaks. Because of that, that's one reason what could happen with that. But or any other thing, is just gonna die off anyways. So but to avoid that, you want to have this grow out, have the root base grow out, and once it gets big enough and clumpy, like an actual Java fern, you want to cut the rope, untie it, and cut it as much as you can so it doesn't get into your aquarium, or float around in your aquarium, or like let's say any of the fish eat it. You want to make sure it's short enough to where the fish won't essentially eat it. Then you want to make sure this is grown out. Then what I did was I unwrapped the rock, got rid of the rock. I unwrapped the ball here, got rid of that. And well, I ain't actually get rid of the rock yet. I think the rock's still in my aquarium somewhere, but you want to definitely get rid of this because there's no reason why I have a floating thing in your aquarium. So you want to untie that, and then you want to make sure that you're not untying your root base. Obviously some Java moss, extra Java moss, if it's dead and still on there, is going to fall off. That's what happened to me when I was trying to cut it. And you want to just cut anything tied on there, and then you want to put the plant and some of the moss, if there is any live moss on the rock, into your net breeder, and then eventually grow it out. I will make an update of this as well, for that reason, because I don't know if it actually works. I'm just saying you might run into this issue if you do have something like this. And it's not because of Petco. Like I said, it's just because of how Imagitarium makes their products, and Unfortunately, because they're immersed growth most of the time, or occasionally you do get that die off, and if you're not um, accustomed to dealing with that, you may have more issues not in your aquarium. Not like damaging your aquarium, just like pH wise and um, acidicness in your water because of all the plants dying. Like if you were to get like 100 of these in your maybe 100-gallon tank and everything died off, that would raise the pH. If all the plants died and regrew, that would probably raise the pH. Honestly, but again, I never tried it, so I don't really know. But just assuming it may because of how much is dying off. But like I said, this video is no hate against Petco. I just wanted to give you guys an update on some of the plants and some of the issues I ran into with the Imagitarium plants, the Java Moss Ball, and the Windalov, or the Mobitis Java Fern that you get from Petco. Or that you get from Imagitarium. Sorry, not Petco, Imagitarium. And all the same plants that you get from the Petco store are from this company as well. So I just wanted to update you guys with that, just because I don't want you guys to buy something and run into this in the future. Just FYI, so you guys are prepared for whatever this is or whatever you guys run into with these plants. And FYI as well, not all of these plants are like this. Only some of them are occasionally like this. And most videos on YouTube, as of making this video, do not tell you about this issue with these plants. So Petco does handle it, but you gotta explain to them and show pictures. So just wanted to update you guys on that while I have that info, and while it comes up in my aquarium. And I will definitely be making an update on this plant as well as the other Java Fern that I showed you, and show you guys the new growth throughout the next couple months. Thank you for watching this video. I know it's probably long, and if you're not into aquariums, it's probably boring, but just to help people out with their aquariums, that's why I make this content. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.